Hello, my name is Ryan Page and I'm an application specialist for Tekla Structures. Today in this video we will provide an overview of the organizer and its basic functions. We will utilize a masonry structure to better highlight how the organizer's categories and property sets can be completely customized by you, the user, to suit your specific needs. So with that, let's begin. One of the immediate benefits to modeling any type of project inside of a BIM software is instant and accurate quantification. Tekla Structures utilizes what we call the organizer to facilitate instant quantification for constructible level quantities. The organizer is found on the Manage ribbon of the tool ribbons, and it can be opened up instantaneously into its own dialog. The organizer acts first and foremost as a reporting tool, as well as the ability to view the data, whether physical or informational, associated with each individual object, also acting as a QA/QC tool to ensure accuracy and legitimate information is correct. The organizer is broken down into two different areas. First and foremost, on the right-hand side, we have categories. Categories utilize filters to compartmentalize or exclude certain objects and group them together. So, for example, we're using masonry as our primary material here, and we're able to go ahead and filter in all of our masonry, as well as the masonry that just is going to be filled with grout, and then we can go ahead and apply some other attributes later on. Now, when we first open the organizer, what we need to do is sync it. The organizer reads the objects in the model into every object, including the reinforcement and embeds and seats and anything else that you choose to create. The filters will identify these using criteria that is either predetermined in the default filters or criteria you specify and filters you create yourself. Depending on the number of objects inside the model, syncing time may vary, but once syncing is complete, we can now select our categories and then view the objects contained within in our object browser on the left-hand side. Our overall generic masonry report that we're using for an example here provides us not only the count of block, but what shape is being used, if we've populated any block type, finish, or color information before we've sync the organizer, as well as the material, and then calculations for the overall cubic foot volume of either 3/8 mortar joints or 1/2 inch, and then whether or not those blocks are grouted. We can choose to group these further here in the object browser, saying grouted versus non, and we get subtotals and running categories of each type here, overall getting a running total down at the bottom. These categories can be instantly exported to Excel with 2 clicks of a button, allowing us to place the information where we need it, how we need it, and when we need it. Excel exports are considered a print. They are static information and representative of the state of the organizer. If changes need to be made to the model at any time, whether that's additions, deletions, or corrections, simply resync the organizer and re-export. But you can see here, our columns represent what was shown in the organizer with running totals for each group provided here. Many users go ahead and use this and save with a date or revision number, and other users take to using their own template and providing formulas in Sheet 2, pulling information specifically from known columns such as H, I, or B. The organizer is incredibly flexible and allows us to kind of customize the way we digest the information out of our BIM models. Categories can be created by users to filter out and show specific information on anything we choose. We can choose to select what model, whether it's our native model or references, and then what filter we're using to isolate objects. And then we can choose the default report associated, or the columns here in the object browser. Property sets can be customized. Columns and headers can be removed and added as we see fit. If block type is not a field that is relevant to us, we can simply delete it, and then modify our template, instantly updated here. Or we can also go ahead and add other fields, whether it's informational or anything else, such as the name field, and what we're calling our block. Drop that in there, modify, and close. Completely tailored. We'll just refresh. Lastly, on the organizer, we have the ability to do more with categories than just pull in information and view it. We can also use certain aspects of our categories to populate information back to the objects in our model. This allows us to add a lot of information, a constant piece of information such as color, finish, block type, or even cost and lay rates to hundreds or thousands of blocks at one time. So this is now a workflow tool and not just a reporting tool. These types of categories are slightly different, and they're called property categories. They allow us to populate information to certain user-defined attributes. For example, if we go ahead and look at our, our units here for 8-inch, and bring up the properties, we're able to filter out those specific 8-inch units and to provide specific cost and lay rate. We can populate those values in these fields. Any and all blocks that meet the criteria of 8-inch units based off of the filter will be populated here. Once that information is now displayed for us, we can get running totals of costs, whether it's labor, material, or both. We can add together, and then we simply sync back out to the objects in and of themselves. That information is now taken from these categories and written to the objects in the UDAs, and we can verify that by bringing it up in the properties pane here on the right hand side on any individual unit. And there we are, lay rate, cost rate. Or we could choose to populate this ourselves and then view it in the organizer. At any rate, the exchange of information between our model and the organizer is bidirectional, and we have the flexibility to use this to further along the information and value we get out of using a BIM model created in Tekla Structures. This concludes our high-level overview of the organizer and how it relates to masonry units. Thank you. This concludes our video on the organizer. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in creating your own organizer categories or property sets, visit our Tekla User Assistance webpage and use the search term organizer. If you need information on another topic, just browse for other product guides, support articles, tutorials, and more.